Good morning, everyone. My name is Alafia, and I am the CEO and co-founder of ArishConnect.com. So today we're going to talk about how to test your diviner, or otherwise, figure out if the diviner that you're seeking out is legit. So I've been getting some messages, asking, how do I find a good diviner? And so I just want to preface this by saying that because I was brought up in this religion, I've been exposed to and have most of my experiences with excellent diviners. I didn't come across a charlatan until I was well into my adulthood. And it really was unnerving. So I could not imagine what it would be like for someone who's not familiar with this faith and then to come across someone that is not legitimate, not on the up and up, and doing some really shady things. So I thought that this video would be great to just give you guys some tips and tricks and just things to be aware of. And the first thing to be aware of is that there is a lot of money in ceremony and initiation and readings. Like, this religion has the potential to make a person rich. And with that being the case, it also attracts a lot of very shady people who are in it for the money. So that's the first thing. You must do your due diligence in the way that you seek out a diviner, because it could cost you a lot of money, a lot of anxiety. It could cost you emotionally, and we just don't want that to happen. So the first thing that I would say, if you do not have a diviner, is to seek recommendation. And recommendations are really important, because if somebody else has already gone through a process with that person, then they can give you their genuine impression of that diviner, what they do, how they do it, and then that's just an easier process. But if you don't have that and you're seeking out a diviner, the first thing that I would do is to look for recommendations online. There are a lot of Facebook groups, online forums where people are talking about their spiritual experiences. And some of those, within those testimonials, have recommendations. And so reach out to that person, see if they still have a good relationship with that diviner, and then see if you can attain their info that way. And then the next thing is that once you find a diviner that you've been either recommended to or you've sought out yourself, you want to definitely get price information ahead of time. And the reason why you want to do that is so that you have something quotable, so that things don't change immediately. A lot of diviners have a very standard for a reading. This is what it's going to cost. And I'm not going to lie and say that, there is one particular price, because that's just not how it goes. And very skilled diviners are expensive. And so you have to be mindful of that. Also, you have to make sure that you're not divulging too much information. Like, that's the test, because everything that's going on with you should come out in the divination. And so if you give up so much information ahead of time, then that information can be regurgitated back to you. And it's really important to understand where your mind and where your headspace is ahead of time. Because if you're in a time of crisis, it's very easy to let information about yourself slip out, because you're talking to someone who's a potential spiritual guide. You're talking to someone who's a potential resource to fix what's going on with you. And so I like to use this example. If a diviner asks you what brings you in, say something very, non-committal. I'm here to seek some guidance and some various things that are going on in my life, and let that be the end. Because a great diviner is only going to need two things from you: your name and your mother's name. Anything outside of that is extra information. So just know that ahead of time. If the diviner happens to practice Yoruba cosmology, may ask for a birth date, but it's definitely not something that happens very often. And then let the reading work. Let the reading tell you what's going on. Okay, not you tell the diviner and the diviner regurgitate that stuff back to you. And I'm using the term diviner loosely, because charlatans are not diviners. They are scam artists, and they are preying on your emotional vulnerability. So that's it. And even if you've been with a diviner for a couple of times, there's always an opportunity for you to zip it, to keep quiet, and to let the reading speak for itself. And then after that, then you'll be able to gauge accuracy. Okay? So that is it. That's all. That's all you need. It's very, very simple. In order to find out if your diviner is legit, try to go through recommendations, and then if not, keep the information that you give to that diviner very simple. Your name, your mother's name. That's it. Don't answer any questions about why you're there. Don't answer any questions that are trying to dive in and see what's going on with you, because there are good diviners, there are excellent diviners, and there are charlatans. So, most people fall somewhere in here. And those who fall closer to not knowing what they're doing need the information that you're giving them to make their divinations work. So make their interpretations work. And I know this is going to ruffle a whole lot of feathers, because I know quite a few people that rely on what the client divulges in order to make their readings more accurate. But I'm telling you, for the folks that have got it down, that know what they're doing, all you got to do, your name, your mother's name. And also, you do not have to be there in person. Orisha is omnipresent. So phone readings, totally possible. Done them a bunch of times. Remote sacrifice, where someone else is doing it for you, or it's being done in either Cuba or Nigeria, totally fine. So yes, that's it. So I hope you all are having a great rest of your day, and I look forward to talking more about what's going on in our community. And if you have any things that you think would be important for the community to talk about, let me know. All right. Have a great day, everyone.